A moment later the fishes lacked depth to swim any further, and following the green lady's example, Ransom slipped both his legs to one side of his fish and groped down with his toes. Oh, ecstasy! They touched solid pebbles. He had not realized till now that he was pinning for fixed land. He looked up. Down to the bay in which they were landing ran a steep, narrow valley with low cliffs and outcroppings of reddish rock, and lower down, banks of some kind of moss and a few trees. The trees might almost have been terrestrial. Planted in any southern country of our own world, they would not have seemed remarkable to anyone except a trained botanist. Best of all, down the middle of the valley, and welcome to Ransom's eyes and ears as a glimpse of home or of heaven, ran a little stream, a dark translucent stream where a man might hope for trout. "You love this land, piebald," said the lady, glancing at him. "Yes," he said, "it is like my own world." They began to walk up the valley to its head. When they were under the trees, the resemblance of an earthly country was diminished, for there is so much less light in that world that the glade, which should have cast only a little shadow, cast a forest gloom. It was about a quarter of a mile to the top of the valley, where it narrowed into a mere cleft between low rocks. With one or two grips and a leap, the lady was up these, and Ransom followed. He was amazed at her strength. They emerged into a steep upland covered with a kind of turf, which would have been very like grass, but that there was more blue in it. It seemed to be closely cropped and dotted with white fluffy objects as far as the eye could reach. "Flowers?" asked Ransom. The lady laughed. "No, these are the piebalds. I named you after them." He was puzzled for a moment, but presently the objects began to move, and soon to move quickly, towards the human pair whom they had apparently winded, for they were already so high that there was a strong breeze. In a moment they were bounding all about the lady and welcoming her. They were white beasts with black spots about the size of sheep, but with ears so much larger, noses so much mobile, and tails so much longer, that the general impression was rather of enormous mice. Their claw-like or almost hand-like paws were clearly built for climbing, and the bluish turf was their food. After a proper interchange of courtesies with these creatures, Ransom and the lady continued their journey. The circle of golden sea below them was now spread out in an enormous expanse, and the green rock pillars above seemed almost to overhang. But it was a long and stiff climb to their base. The temperature here was much lower, though it was still warm. The silence was also noticeable. Down below, on the islands, though one had not remarked it at the time, there must have been a continual background of water noises, bubble noises, and the movement of beasts.